Okay, so here we are on a bright sunny Wednesday, I think it is. It's supposed to be 85 degrees today, sunny. At about 6:30 it was 48, 49 degrees. By the time the sun came up, it was considerably hotter. So we've been doing a little work. Nothing on our boat. Nothing's changed there. Still have the hull. Still need to sand the bottom and do a little sanding. Well, do a little sanding and then primer and paint. We've been doing a little work on other people's boats. So this is the boat I've been working on. That's ours. These fellas are from California, and we went through and buffed out the hull. Basically waxed it. It was very oxidized, so we went through and buffed it, put a little shine to it, and then everything on their teak up above. See if I can get that in there. I can't even find it. So basically all the teak, the tow rail above, the bump rail, we sanded all that down and then put a light coat of teak oil over it. A light coat, a very heavy coat. That wood was very, very dry. We pulled all the stainless off right there, that rail. Pulled that off, shined that up, put it back on. There's a whole bunch of teak up on the deck. Did the same thing. With this, it was a trade, if you will, a trade of services. We took care of their boat, and we traded for something we needed, something that we've been looking at buying. And I'll show you that here in a little bit, so be patient. So that was 3.5 days. It was 2 days on the hull, another 1.5 days on the teak. It was very well worth it. Now, Megan has been working on a friend's boat, helping out a little bit, and what she's doing is, where's my hand? All of the railing. Where are you at, Megan? So what she's doing is sanding the railing and basically teak, when it ages, starts turning gray. She took that off, light sand, and then she's going back over it in multiple coats of teak oil. This particular friend wants multiple coats. She's been on it. How long you been working on this? A week? A week, something like that. And it's absolutely gorgeous. The handrails are coming out very, very well. Julie has been working on the same boat. As you can see, Julie's painting. So anybody that knows Julie knows that that is no surprise. So what Julie is doing is she's taking the bump rail around this boat. Yesterday she went through and primed it with white primer, and then today she's painting gold, metallic gold paint over it. This will be the first coat. With this particular paint over the white, it'll take at least 2 coats, but it looks slick. And I'll show you the before and after. Where are we at? So that's the before. That's before, just the primer. Now, that's the That's the after. Still has the tape around it because we have to do another coat. It's gonna look slick. So, like I say, we haven't been doing a lot of work on our boat. We got a little bit more, I'm tripping over a hose. We had a little bit of epoxy that I put back on there. Julie put a couple coats on. Notice our handy dandy, you know, $5 Walmart Christmas lights. Sat out here the other night and had a beer, had a pizza last night. It worked out pretty good. So with our boat, the rudder, I have lost count how many coats of epoxy we put on this thing. Probably going to sand it, put another coat or two. The hull, I just need to sand it. A friend in here lent me a hoo-ha-ha sander. That thing is big, it's fast, it's very, very aggressive. I'll be able to sand this entire hull in probably an hour or thereabouts. Where, yeah, Julie says I just jinxed myself. When we sanded this originally, if you remember, it took us days. But I don't need to take it all the way down, just rough it up so I can paint. So our boat, play with the rudder a little bit more. I could go with it now, just sand it and put the primer on, but I want a little bit more. I need to primer a couple spots on the hull, and then we can start laying in paint. For our boat, that, and then I need to start the motor up, you know, to do that, check the belts, fluids, change what needs changed, and that's it. Yeah, we got a few other things cooking, and I'll update you on that as we go. But like I say, this boat, not this one, that's ours, but this boat, that boat helped us out quite a bit. And I'll show you what we got out of that boat. Not out of the boat physically, but out of 3.5 days of working on that boat. It will save us a lot of money and helped us out quite a bit. Now, these two guys, Dewey and Tom, they're a kick. They're out of California. Tom lives on a boat down in LA. Dewey's an actor. They're fun. They're good guys, good to talk to. They're headed out. They should be going into water today. That's the plan anyway. As long as the yard cooperates, they'll be hitting the water today. They're taking a few weeks, going down to the Bahamas, and then I think back to California or something like that. Yeah, but this is what we have.
Hi guys.
Yeah, sanding and oiling. That's the handrails, painting, and the project that I'm working on, which I'll get into. That's what we have going on today. It's supposed to be hotter than blazes, 85 degrees. Supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. No end of this in sight. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, a slight bit of rain, but probably not. Work, work, work. And this is what Megan has been working on a friend's boat. That was raw teak to this is what she's working on. To sanded and oiled. And this is the near finished.
Halfway.
Yeah, part way. Multiple coats. And we did some work on a boat. Instead of getting paid monetarily, with money, we did a little trade. And we'll run through what we traded for, but what we traded for goes in here. So what we traded for goes in here. What this is, if you can see it through the sun, this is the bathroom on this boat. This is the current toilet. That goes to a holding tank, and we don't want to use that. With the holding tanks on this boat, on this particular model, it's a very, very small holding tank. They're prone to leaking into the bilge. I really don't want to clean up poop out of the bilge. Yeah, no. Ew. So we're going to replace this. So that's my project today. Okay, so this is the head. This is the area we're working with. As you can see, my hand's as big as it is. Not really, but we're not too far off. You can see I pretty much fill it. You've got this area here. Ooh, that's really bright. This area right here, that's actually your shower pan. Underneath that, there's a little shower pan with a pump in it to pump out your shower water. Your motor, it's hard to see. There's a panel that goes on there. It's right over here right now. There's a panel that goes on there and separates your shower from your motor compartment. That's how tight this is. So you come in here, and then under the current setup, you've got the shower floor and then a seat. Should you want to take a shower or sit down and, I don't know, sit. But this is all teak. You raise that up, and that is the toilet. This has a little lock back here, just a little hook. That hook's in place so you can do your business here. Now, that, ironically, is the water maker. That's a Pure water maker. Pure doesn't make that model anymore. Pure doesn't make water makers at all anymore, actually. But I can get parts for that through another company that bought the rights for that. Having that next to that, yeah, that's a little odd. But that can be moved. This is going away. All of this is coming out with this seat, so I can make room for the replacement. But you've got this tiny space, that seat, and then that's our barbecue grill. Underneath it, right now that's just sitting there because I had to get it inside. And then that's the counter. That is our solar oven. That thing is absolutely awesome. It's made by GoSun. The thing is absolutely awesome. This whole room is 4 feet by 4.5 feet, maybe. Yeah, but don't know if you can see it. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so we being me, got in here and took out the toilet. As you can see, that's the bench. So what held this in, you had 2 screws right there, or 2 bolts right there, and then one here and another one back here. So you only had 4 total that held this thing in. And then that was the raw water coming in, basically to flush. That is the poop pipe going out. And then the rest of this is a little bit of everything. This line was my finger, that line coming in, T is right there, you know, and comes around, as you can see right here. That went to the hand flush pump on the toilet itself. This T comes up and comes around through this little electric pump that is going away, and then continued on down through all this, through a water filter, and then where's that go? So one comes around to this, another one comes off of this line here, comes off the water maker itself and goes through this filter and then into the water system. This will probably be the last time you see all of this mess. I'm getting rid of it. I don't need any of this. For this new head I'm putting in, it's a composting toilet. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need, okay, maybe I need that for the water maker. But the rest of this hooey, not so much. It's in my way, so I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so here it is, mid-afternoon, well, early afternoon, 12:30, something like that. It's like 110 degrees. Okay, maybe not 110, 82, 83. It's hot, but oh, it's nice. I've been up in the head and I tore the old toilet out, kind of cleaned up a little bit up in there, and I was looking at the pipes, well, the hoses, the raw water coming in, the water maker. I'm gonna have to do a little working on that, but let me show you what we were working for when we worked on Dewey's boat. Like I say, we traded labor for a composting head. Now this is the Nature's Head composting toilet. On average, these things go for about $960 new. This thing is near new. It also has a secondary little urine bottle. That's another like 40 bucks. So let me show it to you. So this is the old one. It came out, it could be repaired and reused. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And this is the Nature's Head composting toilet. I would get into it more, but first off I'm going to clean it. But this right here is the secondary bottle. That is, you know, both of these two are the urine bottles. This is the lid, it goes up, and then there's a little flapper in there, and you do your business. When you look at it, there's this latch right here, there's a opposing latch. This whole thing lifts up, and then you got a tank down in here. and that's for the solids. But we're gonna clean it. Okay, so here we are. It is 93 degrees in the boat. It is hot. 85, 6, 7, 8, something like that outside. It's hot enough that we have pretty much turned on the AC for the third time, I think, since we've been here. But I've been doing a little work. Got a little accomplished. And we got the we got the composting head in. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so Julie is testing out the fit, the height. Her toes almost dangle. That's hilarious. So obviously there's, lift your foot. I've got to make a shim down there. It's about 4.5 inches, something like that, which I knew we were gonna have to do that. Okay. Thank you, Model Julie. You know, so it fits in there pretty nice. You know, it fits in pretty decent. The water maker is gonna have to move. You know, either one of these, that or that, can vent out. It doesn't matter with this, as long as there's air in and then air out. And then basically with this is you take this and you run a air line up. It doesn't matter where. You run a air line up. A small computer fan is what the company actually sells for this. Just a minor little airflow, and that's it. We need to get some coconut fiber, lawn and garden. You know, it comes in a variety of different formats. What they suggest is a 1 pound brick. You put 1 pound in there, moisten it, let it sit for overnight. It's ready to go. But as is, we can use this for part of it. If you drink too much, you can use it. If you eat too much, you're going somewhere else until we get it set up. So now I am off to find a block of wood. It's 4.5 inches thick by, I don't know, 11 inches long. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the second day of our Nature's Head composting toilet. We had to make a run into Jacksonville today. So on the way back, we decided that we would stop in a few places and try and find some coconut fiber. And that's your base for the composting end of it. You can either use coconut fiber or sphagnum peat and moss. We cannot find anywhere, not that we looked real hard, we literally stopped at Home Depot and Ace, but they didn't have it. Neither one of them even knew what it was I was talking about. But we went ahead and bought some peat moss. Now this has to be plain sphagnum peat moss. So that's what we got. Now, if you look at this, this comes in a bale that's 2 cubic feet of kind of a brown leafy, kind of a brown griefy leafy substance. I'm doing this on deck of my boat, putting it in Ziploc baggies. Didn't think about that until I got down here and went, oh, yeah, that's funny. But this is what it looks like. Now, according to the Nature's Head website, they say use approximately 2 gallons. And what they suggest is simply use a gallon Ziploc bag. You fill 2 1-gallon Ziploc bags, add enough moisture, you know, just squirt some water in it, just enough to make it damp, and then you put it in. You stir it up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to go in and take a look at the toilet and dump this in. All right, let's go look at the toilet. Yay! Welcome to my toilet. Welcome to Fantasy Island. So on this, on the sides, if you reach over the side, there's a little latch. You can't see it, but it's over here in the dark. And it's just a little compression latch. You flip it up on each side, and then simply lift it up. It just hinges back there. Take the handy dandy bag of peat moss, and dump it in. And then there's a, let me get down here, there's a little handle down on the side, on this side, that turns this. And you just give that a turn, whoop, get back in there. Space is very limited. This is hooey. That's the whole thing. Close that up, lock these down. And then, according to their website, according to their literature, for 2 people, part-time use, you know, like weekend use, or if you're on a dock, something like that, that could run, it runs about 60 to 80 uses. So for a couple people, 2 to 3 months. What they say for full-time use in the situation that we're in, or what we will be once we get into the water, that'll run about 3 to 4 weeks. So if I have to do this every, once a month, that's okay. To empty that, you basically take the lid off, take a 13-gallon Ziploc or a garbage bag, put over it, flip it upside down. It's compost. It is neutralized. All the bacteria has neutralized, and it's compost. You can bag it, tie it up, and throw it in the garbage. Break out your Ziploc bags and put new peat moss in, or cocoa, and start over. Simple as that. Ta-da! Okay, so what we'd like to do is take a few seconds and say thank you. We make these videos. It's fun for us. We like sharing it with friends and family that we meet along the way, the friends and family back home. And it's not an easy thing to make these. There's a lot of time involved, but it's fun. One way that we do this is through Patreon. It's a website that patrons can go and help us out and be a part of what we're doing. We have our new first number one Patreon. So thank you, Jay. We actually met Jay in Texas when we were loading the boat. He pulled up next to the boat and got out, and it was cold and windy, and it was not a pleasant day. It was a fun day, but we sat there and talked for an hour. You know, and he's got his own project going. He's trying to install an electric motor on a boat. So we'd just like to take this time and say thank you.
Thank you.
It means a lot. It's really cool having the first patron. So if you want to be, be like Jay. If you want to jump in and be, part of the crew and part of this crazy adventure,
craziness.
Check out our Patreon page. I think it's gonna be fun.
It's already been fun.
Yeah, it's been a hoot. Yeah,
a lot of work.
We've been down here two and a half months. We've been out of Oregon 3 months. Wow, it's three months already.
That's crazy.
And it's been a lot of work, a lot of fun. But we can't do it without people like Jay. It means a lot.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.